was like, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right, and, oh, is that you?
Huh?
Oh, okay, cool. I thought I needed to fix my computer. Okay, if it had died, that would have been the worst moment of my life. All right, here we go, and go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jamey, Duncan, Whitt, and this is my senior capstone project called Dear Little Black Girl, a collection of poetry and photography. So again, welcome. Good afternoon. Also, I say good afternoon, and nobody said good afternoon black back, and I am black, so please say good afternoon back.
Good afternoon.
As I said, this is a collection of poems. It is all free-form poetry, as well as art exploring femininity and blackness and the various intersectional identities that shape that experience. I used archival photography as well as my own personal family photos, and this is a non-linear story, so there is not a beginning or an end or a middle. It's just kind of ever-flowing and ever-changing. Also, my slides at the beginning are very bare because you're going to be overwhelmed by how much is on the next one. My process, originally, as I said, it's a non-linear project. Originally, I wanted it to be very strict and a very clear timeline. I wanted to have a black woman wake up in the morning and us follow her through her day and see the experiences that she was encountering. I started writing like that and I got immediately bored, didn't like the constriction. So I threw it out the window and I went back to a workshop project that we had done in class where we just listed things that we were interested in talking about. And I knew I wanted to talk about blackness. I knew I wanted to talk about femininity. Also, there will be no use of the word woman in this project. It is femininity instead because I identify as a black woman. I also identify as a black non-binary person. And I do not want to put that gendered constraint on my project. But I immediately was like, no timeline, no strict timeline. So I just started writing, and the first poem that came out of that was girl. I had written girl down, and I was like, that is a very heavy and weighted word in the black community. And I wrote a poem titled Girl, and I just kind of followed through with that. Then I knew I wanted to use photos in my project. I'm a lifelong photographer. Before I was an English major, I was a photography major. And I was like, I want photos in this. Didn't know how I was gonna put photos in it. So I was looking through my own family photos and was like, what if I looked at archival photos from black photographers, which you will see later on, and saw if they had a conversation with each other. So rather than making specific photo choices that pair with various poems, I just kind of found my own family photos and archival photos that spoke to one another and placed them within the work. And then my poem generation process, as I said, just kind of wrote down things about blackness that I wanted to explore and write. But my main question throughout the whole project and process was, what is black femininity? Not looking for a strict answer, didn't find one anyway, but I just wanted to see where my mind would go with that. So I'm going to read you guys three full works of my collection, and I call this the heart. So our two first photos, this one on the left is my mom and I at my first birthday party in 2003. My mom was down with the front, she looks the same. And then on the right is an archival photo by the great Gordon Parks. I don't know if you guys know him. And it's shot in Alabama, and it is a mother with her small child. I also really loved it because it is from Alabama. I have family roots in Alabama. And this is Girl. Girl, little girl, Miss Girl, always girl. But who? What girl? Such a colorblind word for a select few. A greeting, a term of endearment. That little girl fast. Miss Girl always been uppity. Now girl, you know, an accusation, an infantilization. Girl, it ain't ever been that deep. really in conversation with each poem, but I wanted to make sure I put these photos on the side. Up at the top, again, my mother on the right, my godmother on the left. My mother does not know who this girl in the red sweater is, so can't tell you that is. And then my archival photo is from a collection called Mayflowers Long Forgotten by Carrie Maywing. She is also amazing, you should definitely check her out. And this is 73rd. Smoke cloaked the stairwell as the door slammed in their faces. Grandma will be right back. Y'all put on a movie. The smoke wiggles beneath the crack under the door. Grandma's chuckles bleed through. And the girl says she'll never smoke because she hates the smell. Because she can't admit what she actually hates. Who she hates. The laugh in the hall sounded muffled in the apartment. For a few minutes, the girl can make believe that Grandma, Margie, Mommy's mommy, isn't a monster. Her monster. So much love had been made in that apartment. Gigi Jimmy's mints passed to tiny hands, Grandma's pancakes, and the cackle of Dunlap women, the cackle of Duncan women. And when those die out, 73rd is no longer a home, if it ever was. The last work I'm going to share with you all is called My Angel, My Faith, My Silence. This poem did not have a title. When Dr. Doug gave us our helping letters to help us with our drafts, he mistakenly called it that, and I was like, that's a great name, I'm gonna take that. So, this is no archival footage, this is just family photos. Louise Lowe, Louise, that's crazy. Louise Lowe, who I'm named after, Jamey Louise, is my father's mother, and this is her at her wedding in 1956. And on the right, again, is my mom. My mom is a big inspiration for me in general. She's the reason I have a camera in my hand anytime. This is her at her wedding day, 2002, and it's blocked by the bouquet of flowers, but I'm also there. She was 6 months pregnant with me. It was 2 months before my due date. So this is my angel, my faith, my silence. My first love was a person on my TV screen called Angel, dressed as Mrs. Claus. I was in awe, and she was radiant. Who wouldn't fall in love? My second was a friend. I'd never believed in God before, but in her I found my faith, and I worshiped every sermon she gave, each syllable my own private prayer. My third was an admirer. He never had the words, and I always had too many, so we met in silence and tried to love in their absence. My angel, my faith, and my silence. So this is my lineage. So the background of my work, I'm going to talk about. Actually, I would like you guys to read these excerpts. I don't want to talk at you guys this whole time. So if you have time, just skim them as I'm talking. But my inspirations, the structure-wise, as I said, not a linear story. I took inspiration essentially from the movie Sinners. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I love it. It is my favorite movie. But if you have seen it, you know that it begins at the end and ends at the beginning, and that is a very confusing and wonderful way of telling a story, and that's kind of how I wanted my story to be told. I wanted this collection of work to live in and out of time. I also took inspiration from its honesty. It is a graphic and upsetting movie at times, but it is also deeply honest in the love and community and faith that is very prevalent in the Black community. So I wanted to make sure that that was embedded in this. I also wanted an excuse to talk about Sinners. And then my femininity and Blackness, which are obviously the core of this project, I took a lot of inspiration from Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde. As you can see, I snatched excerpts. Audre Lorde's A Woman Speaks. This is just the end part of it. I will read the last part, which is, I am woman and not white. And actually I'll leave that. I'm not gonna explain that to you guys. And Bell Hook's Appalachian Elegy. This is the first excerpt of it. It is 6 parts. But I basically I also took like structure. Like if you notice, my poems are quite short, and generally the lines are pretty short, which is very similar to the way that these poems are structured. But I wanted to display the same fullness of my femininity and the unapologetic Blackness that I try to live in, which has always been something I admire about these 2 wonderful female poets. Like, they are just so deeply, not even unapologetically, almost aggressively Black, in the best way possible. So I wanted to call back to them. I also almost didn't put photos on here, and I was like, that is insane. I could not show these 2 faces during this project. My afterbirth. I am not saying that word lightly. It is the name of one of the poems in the collections. I would not say afterbirth generally because it is not a fun word. But for the future of this project, if I had time, which I feel like this class should be a full year, not a semester, just personally. If I had the time, I would make this into a zine format, which is the way I feel like it's really supposed to be seen. You can see the way the photos interact with the work, the written work here a little better. Like the drafts that I had handed into Dr. Doug were just poem, picture, and it didn't make a lot of sense. So I kind of want the photos and the words to wrap around each other. Like I would kind of weave them into each other in a visual way. I said digital and or physical. That's changed. I would actually like to do both. I would like to make this into a digital format, specifically because I would like to add a musical element. And my classmates very rightly asked me in all of my feedback, what would you do with the music? Because I didn't have time to tell them what I wanted to do with the music. I would like to section off different poems and have a song that correlates with all of them. I haven't thought super hard into the future about this because I'm still in the thick of writing all of these poems and searching through my photos, but that is where I would like to write. Also after listening to my classmates as well, because you guys really made me lock in a little bit. I would like to publish this. I hadn't thought about that, but I did want to say I would like to publish this at some point in some sort of journals, maybe a short form poetry book. That would be wonderful. And then that's just a picture of me in nature. I think I'm writing poetry actually. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm writing poetry. Thank you.